put all the little items on it so it all fits together as one item. We'll put the inside of the cockpit together, make sure that the driver is comfortable in there. Seat belts, you strap them in. You check all the brake systems working correctly in conjunction with the data guys. So basically we're ready to go as soon as we hit the track.
My role is race team coordinator. We're packing all the air freight here to go to Austin. We fly Sunday and start building the garage on Monday in preparation for the race on the following weekend. Just out here making sure that we've got everything. Do one and then the other one. Go on. Got to keep your hand in. Biggest challenge is probably time frame. The planes don't change when they go. We get told when we need to be at the airport. That's sometimes a challenge. We've got a short turnaround. This time we've had quite a good break. So we're looking in pretty good shape for America. We take in excess of 30,000 kilos air freight. And we've got two 40-foot containers that have gone by sea, which left probably middle of August.
These tweezers here I borrowed off him he normally uses for his eyebrows, so that's why it's
Stop it.
It's a little bit more relaxed here because we are at home. It's like training on your normal football ground, I guess. We got the stores next to you, you got electronics next to you, you got all the various departments next to you. Because this is what we call a flyaway, where they're not going in a truck to go away, they actually get built without the back end of the car, and they get put in a pallet. Then we have to build the rest of it at the racetrack. There's definitely more pressure at the racetrack. You've got a green light by the time the circuit's open, you've got to be on track. If you miss qualifying by 10 minutes, or you're not in the race, you're starting last. So here, the pressure is probably getting ready for shipping the cars, where at the track, it's a little bit more compressed because you've got a lot less time.
It's this one, as you can see, she's ready to go, labelled up for America. 40 sets of wheel rims in here, spare chassis if we should need it, all the driver's kit. Move along to the next one. Race team composites, radiators for the car, a couple of spare engine covers just in case, spare rear ends for the car, get 3 of them in the bottom, so all ready to go to bolt straight on the car when we get to the other end. Wheel guns for the pit stops. This one here carries the pit wall podium, which the engineers sit on for the race. This one here is where the cars travel. You've got chassis sits on the bottom, then another one, and then spare parts on the top. We used to build a complete car. Now you think, well, have we got everything? But so far, so good. Pictures of where bits and pieces go, so anyone can sort of basically load it. Engine covers, bodywork. There's probably a couple of noses tucked inside as well. That's ready to go on the truck now to the airport, and it goes straight on into the plane.
So yeah, quite often you actually end up putting a car together back home here for a flyaway, and you end up taking it all apart, not all of it apart, but take it apart at the other end because you're waiting for maybe a new production part that should hopefully make the car a bit quicker or something. So that's the part of our job. If you've got every single part available a week before, you've not pushed your development far enough. That's how this game works. If you say you're ready 2 weeks in advance and there's nothing new, you've probably not tried hard enough. So I don't mind, no, I don't think anybody minds having the parts late because it's been part of the way we operate. We try and extract the most performance out of these cars. There's no good having them sitting in here being, if they could have been 4/10 quicker during the race weekend, if we had a new part, we would rather just take it all apart when we get to the other end and make sure we beat them all.
If we had every part here and we came in Upper State this morning and everything was ready, we'd be done by now. It's a matter of waiting, and you've got to wait for that one piece to turn up to get the next piece in.
Very often when you've got a very tall driver, that's as we call front-enders, mechanics that work on a front end, we're front-enders. The tall drivers are pretty much not the worst, but the hardest one because your pedals will be blocking the hatch where you actually work through. You only got these 2 little areas to work through. That's left front. Very often you actually work without you can actually see what you're doing. So you sort of work with your hands and your feel, so you never see huge gloves on any people up here. I've dropped loads of stuff, but I've always managed to get it out. These are the little clips that sort of, you've got to get in and you've got to put in a special little manage to sort of lock a little potentiometer or something in. And the amount of times you think you got it, you touch it and it springs off, and then it's a matter of just get your magnet in. And obviously that's easy to find it here, but quite often it's hidden under something and you can't actually see it. So you've got mirrors on the stick, you've got an airline, because you've got to have everything out. You're not allowed to leave anything in there whatsoever. Imagine if that got stuck in a brake pedal, throttle pedal or something. So every item always got to come out, and like I say, you will end up finding them somewhere, one way or the other.
Boys are loading the car pallets now, cars are finished.
Yeah, already?
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too dark when we get out of here.
Every day's different. I come to work with a rough idea what I'm going to do, but whatever turns up you deal with. You know, it's like at the racetrack. You go in with what your regular day is, but if something crops up, you go and deal with it. So it makes it interesting, because as I say, every day's different. Keeps it entertaining. Oh, we're nearly there, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just Darren's gearbox stuff on me.
Perfect. All right, nice one.
Right, this is sort of the final part of pack-up, I guess. Get the... never forget your team kit, because basically here all it is. Got put in straight after the last race, and look at that, what a service, all ready to go. A doubleheader is always a little bit different, because the next event, you know, after you've done the first event, you've got to get it laundered, most of it, at the next hotel. So there have been various times when people have come in with I haven't got a shirt, I haven't got this and that. If it's a new hotel, that's not used. If you say there's 4 teams staying at the same hotel, and every single man from every single team got a bag of laundry, that's a little bit different from that hotel the week before. We're not that busy.
It's lights out and away we go. Vettel gets away very well. Hamilton tries to get past Nico Hülkenberg straight away, and it's Sebastian Vettel from Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Räikkönen on the inside, Ricciardo covering off Kevin Magnussen, Sergio Perez trying to find room around the outside, and it's Vettel into turn 2 he goes from Valtteri Bottas, the Mercedes ahead of the Ferrari, and there's Kevin Magnussen making contact and having to run wide and almost chopping off the front wing of Esteban Ocon. As down towards the hairpin we go now. Magnussen on the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. What a lap it's been for the Haas driver, trying to make places back up again, and that is Sergio Perez spinning around at the hairpin. We're on board now with Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton down in 9th place.
Hamilton busy breaker, changing his brake bars. We saw it on the steering wheel. What utter brilliant madness those first few corners were.
And the madness might just continue as well, as there's cars going off onto the runoff area. Romain Grosjean getting pushed wide. Down into turn 10 we go, and that's Max Verstappen on the inside of Brendan Hartley. Verstappen's making up places and already going very nicely indeed, up into 12th place. But Sebastian Vettel leads from Bottas, from Räikkönen, from Ricciardo, Gasly. Good start from him, from Magnussen, from Ocon, Hülkenberg, and then Alonso. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton dueling, going into turn 1. Verstappen on the inside, they're going wheel to wheel. Fernando Alonso's going to watch out, and they make contact. Verstappen gets past and almost runs over the front wing of Lewis Hamilton as he moves himself up into 10th place. Who's got a puncture? Looks like Hamilton slowing a little bit. Verstappen's got a puncture
with that contact. Hamilton steams back past, so Verstappen getting punchy. Lewis wouldn't let him go, and it's Max with a left rear puncture and a long way to go until he gets to the pit lane.
So we're on board with Verstappen now, Hamilton ahead of him, and he knows that there is a gap coming at the end of the main straight. Alonso rather...
In the laundrette, but suddenly now it's full, so there we go, that's it. Ready to go. Last pack up.
I think I lost drive, mate. Okay, try and limp it home, I'll get back to you.
And it is absolute double disaster for Red Bull as Verstappen gets a puncture and limps past the stricken teammate Daniel Ricciardo, pulling over onto the left-hand side of the track.
Oh, steering wheel's gone dead. Everything's gone dead, look. No power, no signal. It's like somebody switched the master switch off. Gasly caught a little bit napping there when the virtual safety car ended. But
here goes Hülkenberg, sorry Martin, on Esteban Ocon into the final corner as well. Hülkenberg swoops round the outside of Esteban Ocon. Nice move there from the German driver in the Renault. But now Ocon is wheel to wheel, and we'll see Mercedes power in the Force India against Renault power as well. And we'll see Renault power Alonso against Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Magnussen ahead of Hartley. Hamilton down the inside on Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon might lose out to Fernando Alonso. Hamilton makes up places ahead of Hülkenberg, ahead of Alonso, and then comes the Force India of Esteban Ocon.
Now, look at this for a triple overtake.
This is fantastic. The McLaren behind Hamilton. You can just about see the track through the sparks, and down the inside he goes. Now, Hamilton fancies a bit of Pierre Gasly, breezes past Pierre Gasly along the straight there, and Hamilton, starting 9th on the grid, is now up into 4th place. Medium tyre for Valtteri Bottas. They can now go to the end of the race on those medium compound tyres. Ferrari on the soft compound tyre. Have Mercedes now switched Valtteri Bottas' strategy? He comes out ahead of Kimi Räikkönen, so they've covered off the undercut there.
So Ferrari are going to go for pure pace. Mercedes are going for endurance. How's it going to end up?
Hamilton still ahead of that Ferrari. Hamilton has been on these tyres since the first lap in this race. Sebastian Vettel came in on lap 18 to change onto his soft compound tyres. How long can Hamilton keep Vettel at bay? This is slowing Sebastian Vettel down all the time. He's stuck behind the Mercedes.
And he'll be party mode down the pit straight, whatever they like to call it, because the longer he can keep Vettel at bay, the better. It destroys Vettel's strategy. He's going to have to stop one more time than Hamilton. But look, he's in the slipstream. DRS, nothing Hamilton can do about that.
You can hear the cheers from the grandstands as Sebastian Vettel blasts past Lewis Hamilton and back into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Kimi Räikkönen in, and he will definitely... Oh no!
Oh no, Kimi Räikkönen out and has hit one of the mechanics.
And left rear wheel's not on properly.
For the second time this weekend, Ferrari have had a problem with a pit stop, and once again, it is an unsafe release with a tyre not fitted properly, and we just look and hope that the mechanic is okay. Kimi Räikkönen given the green light to go when everything was not properly attached.
Stop, Kimi, stop the car, Kimi, stop the car.
Sebastian Vettel leads.